Welcome to The Explainer. If you're anywhere near environmental science, urban planning, or honestly, even if you just rely on highly accurate smartphone navigation to get around town, you are constantly interacting with remote sensing and GIS. But here's the thing, even seasoned pros sometimes conflate the two. So today, we're unpacking exactly what makes each distinct, and, more importantly, how slamming them together creates a literal spatial superpower.
It really boils down to this one simple question. Are we talking about the camera taking the picture or the software actually processing it? Whenever you hear these terms, just keep that analogy in the back of your head. One technology is out there physically gathering the raw data, and the other, well, that's your analytical brain, crunching those numbers to drive actual real-world decisions.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to decode the buzzwords, check out remote sensing as our camera, and GIS as our analytical brain. Then we'll put them head-to-head before revealing how they seamlessly combine to tackle complex global problems. Let's get into it.
Section 1. Decoding Geospatial Buzzwords. Let's lay down a quick baseline.
Think of remote sensing as the ultimate data source. Literally, it's the science of acquiring information about something without ever making physical contact with it. We're gathering intelligence from afar. We're talking satellites quietly orbiting the Earth, specialized aircraft, or drones dynamically mapping a landscape. They're all out there just recording the electromagnetic energy bouncing off or emitting from the Earth's surface.
In contrast, GIS, or Geographic Information Systems, is the environment where we manage, analyze, and visualize all of that raw data. If remote sensing is out there gathering the puzzle pieces, GIS is the framework where we actually put the puzzle together. It's a computer-based system built not just to store data, but to manipulate it, hunt down spatial relationships, and present geographic information in a way that solves incredibly complex problems. Moving on to Section 2, Remote Sensing, our camera. Let's look at how we capture the Earth from way up high.
Remote sensing brings some incredible macro power to the table. We are talking about massive global-scale data acquisition. You get this incredibly broad, synoptic view of the Earth, capturing weather patterns, continental shifts, and atmospheric conditions all at once. It's an objective snapshot of reality on a scale human eyes just couldn't perceive, which is absolutely crucial for monitoring big-picture phenomena like climate change or deforestation.
And the sensors doing the heavy lifting here are super diverse. They basically fall into two camps, passive and active. Passive sensors are a lot like a standard camera. They just soak up natural sunlight reflecting off the Earth. But active sensors, like LiDAR or radar, supply their own energy. They shoot down a signal, maybe a laser or a radio wave, and measure exactly what bounces back. And because they bring their own flashlight, active sensors can operate dead in the night or peer straight through thick cloud cover. From high-orbit satellites to low-flying drones, these tools are tracking everything from raging wildfires to subtle shifts in ocean temperatures.
All right, Section 3, GIS, the analytical brain. Because once we have those massive libraries of data, we desperately need a way to process them.
You see, GIS isn't just some software you install on your laptop and call it a day. It's a complete living ecosystem. It requires 5 core components integrating perfectly. You need the hardware, the software, the data, which again is very often fed in by remote sensing, plus the analytical methods and the trained people needed to actually interpret the results. You can have the most powerful computers on Earth, but you need this entire ecosystem working in harmony to forge actionable intelligence out of raw information.
The true magic of GIS really lies in the overlay. Imagine taking a bunch of transparent maps, say a soil map, an elevation map, and a current land use map, and stacking them on top of each other. By mathematically analyzing how these layers intersect, GIS completely strips away human subjectivity. It replaces our guesswork with hard data. Suddenly, hidden relationships pop out, like exactly which steep slopes have unstable soils and are therefore a massive landslide risk if someone tries to build houses there.
Section 4. Comparing the two technologies. Let's put them head-to-head to lock in these differences before we look at how they team up. Scope is a huge differentiator here. Remote sensing typically covers large areas with a really broad view. It's observing the forest, literally and metaphorically, grabbing data from regional all the way to global scales. GIS, on the other hand, often takes that data and zooms right in. It models specific, local impacts and hones in on detailed spatial relationships. GIS wants to know not just that a forest exists, but exactly how the roads, rivers, and property lines interact within one specific acre of that forest.
When you break down the contrast, the differences in data format and cost are actually pretty stark.
Remote sensing deals in raw images, pixels, and spectral bands, which requires expensive satellite launches or highly specialized aircraft calibrations. GIS works with vector polygons, lines, points, and raster maps, using software that is incredibly accessible and runs on standard hardware. So one acquires the data at a massive freemium, and the other makes analyzing it widely accessible. It really just comes down to focus, acquiring the raw reality versus managing and analyzing it.
Finally, Section 5, Better Together. Understanding their differences is key, but the real magic happens when this geospatial tag team joins forces.
As one of our sources perfectly puts it, for as long as GIS has been growing, the technology has been fed and nourished by products derived from remotely sensed data. Historically, early GIS layers were painstakingly digitized by hand from physical aerial photos. Today, remote sensing is this dynamic sensory organ feeding continuous automated updates right into the GIS digestive system. It literally gives the software something meaningful to chew on at any given moment.
Let's look at precision agriculture as a real-world example of this synergy. In Step 1, remote sensing platforms like drones or satellites collect insanely detailed spectral data over a farm. They're detecting slight variations in soil moisture, crop health, and nutrient levels that human eyes would completely miss. Then, in Step 2, that data gets pumped straight into a GIS. The GIS crunches it to create a highly targeted prescriptive map, telling the farmer exactly which 10 square feet need more fertilizer and which need less. It's not just a cool party trick. This combination helps farmers optimize massive crop yields, slash chemical costs, and drastically cut down on environmental runoff.
We see that exact same powerful synergy in watershed management. Remote sensing grabs the broad terrain and vegetation health data, while GIS integrates that with local census and infrastructure records. What starts as a flat, simple satellite image transforms into a robust strategic decision support system. It allows planners to model exactly how a new housing development is going to impact downstream water quality long before a single shovel ever hits the dirt. By combining the raw observing power of remote sensing with the analytical brain of GIS, we aren't just mapping the world anymore. We're actively modeling its future. I hope this explainer has clarified this incredible technological synergy for you and leaves you wondering, what global challenge are you going to map next? Thanks so much for joining me.